All right, welcome to tutorial number 2 of process journal number 2 in art and design class. So now we've talked a bit about graffiti, about graffiti, and now we are going to actually try to practice some hand lettering. I hope that you've also been keeping in mind to look around you for 6 photos of graffiti or street art around you. So for this, I just want to let you know that hand lettering is one of my favorite things to do. I did it a lot as a kid. I was very good at it. Kids at school, back in middle school, would pay me to draw their name in bubble letters and decorate it on a page. So hand letter's always been my thing. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I never learned it from anywhere. I just started doing it naturally and practicing it. If I saw a new font that I liked that I came across, I would practice it or trace over it and use it in some way. There's by the end of the class period, I would like you all to have completed a full page of hand lettering and outline practice. So here's our assignment. It's pretty simple. Between now and next class period, you're going to write your name 3 times in 3 different ways, or you can choose to do it the way I did it in the video, and you can put your lyrics to a favorite song on there and color those in. Do the lettering still the same 3 different ways, but you'll see my example here in just a moment, so you'll get an idea of what 3 different ways looks like. And you can still create an interesting page. Here's some examples that I pulled from this really cool book that I have. It's called Graffiti School, and I also have another book that I use. It's actually from Five Below. It was $5. It's called The Big Book of Amazing Creative Lettering, and that's also a really good book too, and I have a couple of examples from there. So you're welcome to use these. You can use these to take a screenshot of and then trace over them. I'll go into that method a little bit in just a moment. Here's some more examples of possible alphabets or letters that you could make up yourself. So these are a lot of just basic things that graffiti artists make up. These are a little bit more of the harder to read ones, but these are the fun graffiti style. I love how you can sort of see faces in this one. Here's some more here, still from the graffiti book. This one's really simple up here. I like that. If you're just starting out and you just want nice thin lettering, this would be a great one. And then these are also from the graffiti book too. I used these red ones here on my example. These are from the creative lettering book, which I said I got at Five Below. So it's if you look in their little book section, they still should have them. I got it a couple years ago, but I've seen it there recently. Here's some more examples. This is from the graffiti book. This is from the creative lettering book. And I just updated this, so yes, let's show that. This is my example, and I'm going to go through some of this example in the video in a moment. So this top one here was done by me tracing out some of it, but I changed some of the lettering just a little bit, and then I colored it in with a pen. The middle one here was done completely by the tracing method, which I'll show you in just a moment. And I used on the inside an alcohol-based marker, and on the outside I used a red thin line Sharpie. The bottom one here I used freehanding with a ruler, so I still kept it very uniform. There is also one other video that I'm going to show you that I haven't put the example on here yet, so I will add that example, and you'll see that at the end of the video or in the middle of the video as another option, which is completely freehanding your letters by using your handwriting. And I'll show you how to do that too. That's really fun. That's what I did for the bottom letters here too. Now there's drawings all over my paper because my children, I had it sitting out on my desk, and my kids came in and decided they wanted to add to it. So we're going to go with it, and I'm just going to make something even cooler out of it. All right, so let's jump into the different ways that you can do your hand lettering. All right, y'all, I'm going to show you quickly how to use your laptop as a tracing table so that you can trace right into your sketchbook. So the first thing is to get your image flipped sideways if you're using it sideways. If you're using it like this, you might not need to flip it, but make sure you flip the image easiest to fit into your sketchbook. So now I'm going to very lightly, carefully, be so nice to your laptop, okay? And place it where you need to. And you might have to adjust it a little bit here, but I'm not being mean to my laptop. I'm very gently pressing down, very light, barely pressing pencil. You're gonna ruin the screen if you press down too hard. I'm just barely light and pressing here. And you're gonna do all your letters like this and then adjust it as needed. So then when I'm ready to do these letters here, I'll show you how to, I go pretty fast. You don't have to go this fast, all right? This is just because I've been doing hand lettering for a ridiculously long amount of time. Now, if I want to get this over here, I'm going to have to adjust it. So you are going to have to make some adjustments. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to work pretty darn well. It's going to work about as well as the light table works inside my classroom. And then I can finish that up here. And that is how you use a laptop as a tracing table. All right, y'all, so this is the quick and easy way to do just simple bubble lettering. And it is actually just writing out your name in any font that you want to, and then going over it using bubbles and outlines. Very quickly, I'm just tracing over what I already did. And then I've got my quick bubble letters. So now I'm going to go in with a marker and kind of make it legit to stand out a little bit more. Thin line marker here. Your class markers would work very appropriately for this. And then I'll change the shapes if I need to at any point. Like if what I originally drew with pencil wasn't quite right, I'll just do it the way I think it should be then. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little bit sloppy. I realized that my A was too small at the end, so I made it a little bit bigger. It was still a little smaller, and then I did a quick fill. And now we will move on to, and I also erased it too, just to add, and then you can fill yours in, but we're going to move on to the next option. All right, y'all, so I'm going to show you how I already showed you the Life is But a Dream, so now I'm going to show you how I did the bottom letters. So you see first I used that ruler, and I just traced out 2 lines of the ruler. I used the length of the ruler, or the width of the ruler on there. So I am looking at words that I got from dafont.com. And I'm simply freehanding, just using the ruler lines. I also stick to using a lot of shapes. So you see I kind of shape everything out first. I don't just go in with it right away. And then I usually go back and redo some of the shapes again. So you'll see that the freehand still has some rules to it. I think I ended up changing that W a little bit too. I didn't like how it went the first time around, so I kept changing it. And the freehand just kind of sits naturally on the ruler lines. And then you can go back once you get the main shapes in and put in the details there. All right, the next part is the outline. There's 2 different ways you can do an outline. This is the first way, which is going in first with your Sharpie or thick pen, whatever you want, and doing that part first, not coloring in the letters first. And this outlining part actually takes longer, I think, than the drawing part itself, because you want all of the lines to really be uniform and not look like one line is thicker than the other. So that takes patience and practice for sure. That's what we're doing this practice for today. So just kind of watch me how I do my lines. Pay attention to the way that my hand goes and how I have to go over certain lines again to get them to the right thickness that I want them. because there's no going back once you put a Sharpie on the paper. So you have to keep a steady hand. These videos are sped up 4 times. So you can imagine how slow I'm actually going. If I were to be talking over the non-sped up video, I would be going really slow. So just see how steady my hand is as I'm going there. And just practice with your steadiness of your hand. There's no right or wrong because you're just writing words to practice today. All right, we're finishing up this outline. And I'm just going back through, kind of thickening up anything that needs to be changed. And now I'm going to do the second one. And actually the way to do the outline with alcohol-based markers and other markers, because they tend to run into each other, is to do your coloring first with alcohol-based markers before you do your outline. And then you have the option to do your outline with whatever you want to. So with the fill of your letters, you're still really paying attention to getting in a really filled, no cracks showing color. So you're not just coloring it in fast to color. You're coloring it to get it completely saturated with color like I am. I'm just leaving the little white bubbles at the top because they're part of the font, and you'll see that come out more at the end. And remember, this video is sped up 4 times because I don't want to talk over a 20-something minute video. So it's sped up 4 times so that you can really see all of my process, and I can talk you through it faster than it normally would. If we were in the classroom, you could sit right next to me and watch me do it. And certainly when we come back for hybrid, if you're coming back to school, I will do lots of demos in person. So you'll see I'm doing tiny little strokes, and I'm using the thin edge of the marker. My marker is 2-sided, so there's actually a thin edge and a thick edge. And I'm going with thin. So these letters, if you have like thin line Sharpies at home, or the markers in your bag are actually perfect for filling in letters about this size. You're not going to want to go too small, okay? You're going to try to make it large enough so that you can practice on a whole page like I've done here. And when you're going back into, when you're going back in at the end of this, you're going to do that first, and then you're going to start outlining it second. So you have the option to do pen, you have the option to do colored pencil on the outline, and then the third set of letters is up last. And I'll let myself finish this out here. I got a little bit ahead of myself talking. So we'll finish up with that red outline, and then we'll move to, we're actually going to go to the bottom one. Okay, so I'm outlining it first with the Sharpie. And remember, this is greatly sped up. I think this one is sped up 6 times, so I can show you on time in this video in a timely manner. And I fixed the W just a little bit there, and then I erase everything else, all the lines, all the other sketches that I made, so it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to go to the top and fill that. I'm using a thin line purple marker, and I'm just doing these sort of diagonal lines to fill it in with the purple. And I'll let you see me finish that one, and then we'll go to the last one here, and I'll tell you about my process for that. All right, so I actually go in with a green colored pencil first, and I am pushing pretty hard here. I'm not going light. So just because it looks fast, I'm actually pushing hard and using all my strength to get a nice green on there. And then I go over it with the blue just to give it kind of a extra tealish touch. And I can also go back in later. I was thinking about adding a little bit of white colored pencil so that it made it look a little shiny. All right, so I'm going to let you watch me finish this. And then at the very end of the video, there will be a 10 seconds of my example, but my example is also in the presentation if you want to go back and look at that too. So enjoy your lettering, y'all.